The baby's scream cut through the cabin like a siren. People groaned, rolled their eyes, pulled down their sleep masks. Ethan Graves, the guy sitting in seat 1A, clenched his jaw so tight you could hear the grind. His Rolex flashed as he adjusted his cuff. "Jess, can you please make her stop?" he muttered through gritted teeth. Jessica bounced their daughter on her lap, whispering lullabies that didn't stand a chance against 30,000 feet of pressure and a baby as lungs. "She's scared, Ethan," Jessica sighed, her eyes watery from embarrassment. "It's her first flight." "Well, maybe she shouldn't have one if she can't handle it," he snapped, loud enough for the flight attendant to stiffen. Passengers threw daggers with their eyes. One woman hissed, "God, just shut that baby up." Jessica felt her cheeks burn. She wanted to disappear. In economy, a few rows behind the curtain, a little black boy named Malik peeked up from his seat. He'd been drawing superheroes on the back of an in-flight magazine with a stubby pencil. He glanced at his mom. "Ma," he whispered, "that baby sounds scared." Rosa, tired but kind-eyed, looked over. "Yeah, baby. Some folks just scared of flying. Happens to grown-ups, too." He nodded, thoughtful. "Can I help her?" Rosa smiled sadly. "Ain't much you can do, baby. That's first class up there. Whole other world." But Malik didn't listen. Something inside him wouldn't let the sound go, like he could feel the baby's fear in his chest. Back in first class, Jessica's hands shook. The baby, little Ella, kicked and wailed louder. Ethan called the attendant again. "Can you do something?" "People pay for peace, not this," he said, motioning toward his own child. The attendant smiled tightly. "Sir, babies cry on planes. Maybe give her a bottle?" Jessica had already tried. Twice. Nothing worked. She looked near tears herself. Then, mid-tantrum, something unexpected happened. A small voice spoke behind them. "Hi, Mom. Can I try?" Everyone turned. It was Malik, tiny, brown-skinned, wearing a faded Superman t-shirt that had seen better days. A flight attendant had escorted him from economy because he asked to help. Ethan blinked in disbelief. What the hell is this? Some kind of joke? Jessica looked confused but desperate. What do you mean, honey?" Malik stepped closer, holding out his hands shyly. "I got a baby sister. When she cries like that, I sing to her. It helps sometimes." The plane went dead quiet. Even the engines seemed to hush for a second. Jessica hesitated, then handed him a soft blanket. "Go ahead," she said softly. Ethan threw up his hands. "Jess, seriously? You're letting some random kid," but Malik had already started humming. Low, gentle, pure. It wasn't a song anyone recognized. Maybe a tune made up in his head, but the baby quieted. Just like that. Jessica gasped. Ethan froze. The whole cabin watched as Malik swayed a little, tapping Ella's tiny feet and humming like it was the most natural thing in the world. Within seconds, Ella's sobs melted into sleepy hiccups. She nestled into her mother's arms, eyes fluttering shut. Jessica whispered, "Oh my God." Ethan stared, speechless. The woman across the aisle muttered, "Would you look at that?" Malik smiled shyly and backed away. "She's okay now, ma'am." Jessica's lips trembled. "Thank you, sweetheart. What's your name?" "Malik," he said. "Means king. That's what my mom says." Someone clapped, then another. Before long, half the plane was applauding. Ethan sat there frozen, watching a kid in a thrifted t-shirt earn the respect of an entire first-class cabin. But behind his polite smile, something inside him twisted. Guilt, maybe. Or shame. Because for the first time in years, a boy who had nothing made him feel like the smallest man on that plane. When they landed in Atlanta, passengers filed out. Jessica stopped Malik and Rosa before they disappeared into the crowd. "Please wait," she said, rushing up with Ella in her arms. "You have no idea what you did." "She hasn't slept through a flight ever," Rosa smiled politely. "Ain't nothing, ma'am." "My boy's got a gentle soul." Ethan finally caught up, adjusting his designer jacket like armor. "Look, thanks, kid. You, did good." The word sounded foreign in his mouth. Malik just grinned. "You're welcome, sir." Jessica knelt to his level. "You must be very proud of him," she told Rosa. Rosa chuckled. World don't always see it that way, but yeah, he's special. Ethan looked them up and down. Their worn clothes, secondhand luggage, the way Rosa kept her chin high despite the stares. For once, he didn't see poor. He saw dignity. Jessica nudged him. Ethan, maybe we could do something for them. He sighed. Like what? I don't know. A small thank you? Malik shook his head. You don't gotta. My mom says helping people's free. That line hit Ethan harder than he expected. He reached into his jacket, pulled out his wallet, the kind that screamed money, and paused. Then he slipped out a business card instead of cash. Here, if you ever need anything, and I mean anything, call this number. I own a foundation. We can help with school, maybe more. Rosa hesitated, then took the card. That's mighty kind of you, sir. But we ain't charity. Ethan nodded slowly. Maybe not. Maybe you're the lesson. Jessica smiled at her husband, really smiled, for the first time that day. Guess that's what kindness does, she said softly. Changes people. 3 months later, at a small school in Atlanta's South Side, Rosa watched her son step off a fancy new school bus. Malik waved at her, clutching a backpack with his name stitched in gold thread, a gift from the Graves Family Foundation. Rosa's eyes teared up. The foundation had covered his tuition for a private academy. No press release, no publicity, just quiet gratitude. Later that week, a handwritten letter arrived at the Graves mansion. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Graves, I don't know much about money or rich stuff, but I know that baby smiles now, and that means more than any dollar. Your friend Malik. Jessica framed it. Ethan, who used to measure life in profit margins, started visiting that school once a month. He funded art programs, reading corners, even a Sky Kids Club for children who dreamed of flying. And every time he saw a little black boy humming to calm a crying baby during one of those visits, Ethan smiled. Because that sound, that small act of grace at 30,000 feet, changed him forever. Moral message. True wealth isn't in your wallet, it's in your heart. Sometimes a child with nothing teaches you everything.